some combos just look like, I was like, that might look true. Even though it kind of wasn't, he just made it look true.
Yeah, his advantage sometimes doesn't seem believable because it's like you have to work to get the hit, but when he pushes you off stage, his edge guarding is phenomenal, which he's going to do to try and take out Kept as we start Winners Finals, game number 1 of First Attack 2022.
Let's get in. Both sides filling each other out. Now, make no mistake here, my friends, as talented, as just prolific as these two players are, there's going to be some slow points here in the match, and for good reason. You know, we talked about it before, but just to kind of rehash, Sonic has the ability to close the gap, get in between Villager and that Lloyd Rocket, and really get up underneath Kep's skin. Kep can do things like this, though. Slow the match down to a standstill and make Sonix think twice before he decides to come in and
I can already tell Sonix understands the matchup very well because not only is he going out there using the homing attack to beat the balloons every single time and shaking them out cleanly at that. He was able to bait Kept earlier by using a soft nair on shield fading away to bait out Villager's nair. If you beat that, you're beating Villager.
You're beating Villager 110,000%. The offstage presence here from Sonix, not just at this event, not just this weekend, but just overall here this season, has been virtually unmatched. Those characters that like to stay off stage and think that they can just get out there and smell the fresh air, make no mistake, you can't do that versus Sonix. Sonix, of course, keeping up the momentum right here. Has Kept off stage. What's he going to do with it? Has him in the corner.
I like how he's trying to condition him out of the idea he could go for neutral get up with those nairs, because if it catches it late hit, that's a guaranteed combo in the back air. He's trying to get him to roll on, which is a free reaction because it auto cancels, so he can punish him after. And every single time he swing out at a disadvantage, it doesn't matter because Sonix is just waiting to punish. Kept has got a lot of work to do here, Rod.
A lot of work indeed, Ajax. I mean, I just feel like he's kind of staying a step ahead of the competition. Controlling this platform, I like that. If he decides to go high, I got background already. If you decide to go low, guess what else I got for you? Another back here, my friend. Okay, the pain does not stop.
We were talking before about that travel from Kept too. Sonic's a bit of a world warrior of himself of late. He's been traveling to everything, showcasing what he could do, performing well at last year's Smash World Tour as well. And he's going to get caught up. That was definitely bad DI because he was crossed up, went for back air to fade back in, holding in on that Lloyd Rocket, so that gives him a shot.
And this kind of just leaning into this, the dangerousness that is Kept, giving us sometimes that less is more type of mentality. So, you know, I've been trying to chase you down. I've been trying to hit you. I'm gonna let my tools do the talking for me.
And that's exactly what you need to, because you got one really big tool of an interesting caliber, that being the axe. Actually, not even just the axe, that bowling ball, but he's broken shields so many times on people this weekend with the axe setup. He's going to need to find one of those soon, because if you don't get a shield break or a big combo, he's got a big hill to climb.
That's right, man. On top of the breaking thing, Sonic's breaking faces right there. Love that tilt. Catches him kind of sleeping at the ledge. And this is actually a really smart tactic here from Sonix, knowing that, okay, every time I get back on the stage or I try to do a neutral get up or a jump, he's going to try to meet me halfway with nair. Sometimes I got to throw a little percent around, use my body as the shield. I don't want to, but what's more important, you know, saving that damage or getting back onto solid ground. Probably getting back on the solid ground in this case.
And if you could get Villager to stop throwing forward air from the ledge, you're in a good spot. But Kept is slowly working it back, using the dash attack with the I forgot what that's called, the plant bucket there.
The plant, yeah.
Trying to get him to go high, and he's doing it well. He's only getting single hits. The triple turn up doesn't connect, but the damage is racking up quick. But there's that startup of Lloyd we said before. Get the startup, free punish every time. As he punishes him there, he almost loses his stock at 69.
That's right. Oh, my God. Then the homing attack here on the balloons. I mean, this type of edge guarding on Villager a couple installments ago, excuse me, virtually unheard of. I mean, a character of this caliber was coming back. Sonix said, I'm here to rewrite the meta. I'm here to flip the script. You ain't coming back on the stage for free, my friend. Oh, love that. Almost caught him with the up smash, solid anti-air option. Just a little misposition there.
And you would think with a character who's completely rush down base that you can have a way to shut him down with his zoning, but Sonix, once he got a lead, has been controlling it well. He tried to catch him himself, but the DI makes up there. Back air is going to take it though, and that's game number 1 going to Sonix.
That's right. Ain't no mix-up about that back air. You know how that's hits, and you know exactly where it's going to send you. Clear out into the blast zone. Clean stuff right there from Sonix. Good showing right there from Kept, but again, a lot of what we talked about before the match started kind of came into fruition there, closing out that gap. Oh, you go for slingshot, I'm just going to keep running up and shielding until I get as close as possible. Oh, Lloyd Rocket started, say less, fam. I don't got a projectile because I'm my own human projectile. I can be everywhere at once. I'm going to close out that distance, and I'm going to make you pay for it every time.
You got no hitbox on that recovery. I'm going to go out there and hit you with that neutral beat. But this does not surprise me that much. He has an Isabelle as well. He is all about the Animal Crossing game, and he is really good with this. Now, Isabelle is one of those characters. It's like, yeah, maybe they're very underplayed.
Yeah.
But they have some good buttons and good matchups. That
do.
up tilt is going to be good for dealing with the jump-ins.
That is fact.
And that fishing rod is going to change up his routes in which he takes to get back to stage.
That is 100% true, Ajax. You know, of course, I live in New Jersey. I live with Max Ketchum and Dre Charles. Let's just say the house, because we're all competitive, goes through a couple different story arcs. Right now, it's the Isabelle arc. And I'm not proud to admit that, but you know what? I am proud that I'm trying to learn, you know what I'm saying, on how to get better at the matchup, and what better way to do it than watching, you know, the master at work here, kept, of course, with the Isabelle gameplay. Very curious to see how this one is going to unfold. Has a little bit of a lead, but really, what is a lead to somebody as talented as Sonix?
Oh my goodness. Well, at least he's got a different recovery route. That's what I was about to point out. That fishing rod also allows him to mix up his recovery. Oh, good stall away. He did something similar to that last game where he slowed down the Lloyd rocket when he came in, and now he was able to get away from that forward air there with the up E.
That's right. Got to keep them routes on lock, because Sonix is a shark in the water out there, and there's always blood in the water. He's smelling it. He's coming for it.
Little bluefin just always creeping underneath those platforms, man. He is so difficult to get around. But if you can get him to about 80 to 90, you can get one of those. I was going to say that would have killed if it was around 80, but now that just revealing why that's a dangerous setup for him to deal with.
Okay, now he has them off stage right here. We've seen how good the ledge trapping here is from Sonix. We've seen the rinse and repeat. We've seen it in doubles just on Friday with Omar. I'm either going to stay in the hub of Battlefield or like a Pokemon Stadium, or I'm going to stay right up underneath that platform. You go high, I got back here, you go low. The grounded game from Sonic is amazing, but he's probably going to go for back here again. In this case, kept right now. A little bit of a situation reset, and Ajax speaking into existence right there, going for the fishing rod and catching something big. That's right, a stop.
Talk about that shark was catching them fins on his way up, man. You go down low, he can snag you out of it. You got to be careful about your recovery. And he just shimmied in front of the Lloyd to make it look like, yeah, go ahead, come here. And
right.
In the year 2022, he's going to fall, but he's making this Isabelle look very solid right now the way he's approaching this against Sonix.
I tell you what, man, no matter what the year is, 2015, 16, doesn't matter, man. Forward air has claimed the stocks of many, and unfortunate enough right there for Kep, he is just another victim on that first stock hit list. However, still has a bit of a lead. And Nair, this is what I wanted to talk about. Nair is good on Villager, pretty damn good on Isabelle, if I may say so myself. Nair out of shield especially, just busting up the party, alleviating that pressure, not to be taken lightly. Kept, of course, leaning into that heavily here. Nothing off the back air.
It's hard to even hate when she does that, too. She looks adorable when she jumps off to go hit you with that. It's like, wait, what are you doing? Oh, I forgot to tech. And Sonix is now going to lose his stock for that. That's the setup we were alluding to before that he didn't die to last time. At around 90, that becomes a kill confirm. So you can't rush in. I feel like what Isabelle's allowed him to do here, Rod, is that Kep has now been able to play more physical than trying to play the zoning game that Sonix didn't let him establish in game one.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I think one way to really get up underneath Sonix's skin is that when you are a character this fast, where you can be everywhere at once, each stage is kind of your own playground. The more room, the better at that. But if you can kind of like set up little traps and make Sonix think once or twice, or maybe just not even that, kind of closing off access to an area, that's when the set play gets really crazy. Kept, of course, leaning into that, looking really good. Has a solid lead, has completely lapped him. Netting something big here, but let's see if he can bring it home.
You're right on point with the fact that he controlled that area, basically closed the entire tunnel to get over to the other island, man. Like, he cannot get through that Lloyd when it's set up in front. You're forced to jump over that. And now Sonix a little bit more afraid to go for the nair pressure he did before. The forwarder is going to close it, though. If he can get him into that same scenario like last game where he has to constantly homing attack his up Bs, he might be able to steal the game away. But this is completely in his control. Jab staggers, he tried to read the dodge.
He did. That was just a big brain play. Again, we've seen a lot of platform control and manageability come through from Sonix, but kept starting to tap into that energy as well. And who says Isabelle can't box up close and get them hands dirty? It wasn't me. Trust me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, he helps him out with the spring on the way up, but like, stop sign can make him end this too. Sonic got to go fast. Well, Isabelle also has a whole stop to that, but I think he's trying to avoid doing that. He doesn't really want to give him a free big smash attack with punish.
Yeah, don't do that. So you got to go fast, but I control the traffic here on the ground, my friend. Enjoy this stop sign. We're going to see a forward throw, absolutely off stage. Uncharted territory for a lot of competitors, but you know what I'm saying, not kept and not Sonix. They're going to spend a good chunk of this match probably off stage. I'd like to say maybe 65-45 here. Nothing off the back here.
The nair not taking him out off the top just yet. Kept only needs one good up air, one solid sweet spot aerial. It's a little bit too far away to get it right now, but he wasn't able to set up. Tries to land with the nair, punishes him, does not get the forward smash punish he was looking for, and she exited him, evicted out of the building, and Kept gets the game.
Oh my God, I hope we get a replay of that final just like that kill screen. It's just Sonic's feet in the damn net. Oh, man, it don't get any more cartoon.
Dr. Eggman could never, man.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. He needs to take.
Look at this.
He needs to take some. No, look at this. Eggman, if you watching, your ass better take some notes. Isabelle getting it done, all right? Just goes to show what happens when Doom Guy and Isabelle start kicking it. She knows how to build lives up and start taking some lives.
Hey, man, kind of the Doom Slayer himself you need, because sometimes people feel that doom and gloom fighting against Sonix. He just is so quick to react, and his adaptation skills are absurd. So sometimes you just feel like everything that you choose is wrong because of how quick the burst range is on Sonic. And Kep just decided, okay, well, you know, I can't box with you with Villager. I can't nair out a shield. So what if I just start fighting you up close and personal with Isabelle of all things?
Yeah. It's almost like that surprise factor, like, oh, damn, she do got that dog in her. In fact, she is the damn dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I forgot that she can actually kind of box a little bit up close. Obviously, the jab ain't super strong, but, you know, you can jab lock and really set it up for something great. I don't imagine we'll see the same game twice. I know you brought up the adaptation from Sonix. I mean, of all the top players out there in the world, he's one of the best. I mean, you never really see the same Sonix twice in a set, especially if he loses. He wears many different hats in the game.
Well, so far, the only thing what that Isabelle doing is winning. Getting a first dub here and trying to read a tech chase with that up tilt. I know we mentioned it before, but that up tilt, it leads to a decent amount. And it usually, that right there, it baits him out, gets a jab block. Big punish off of that platform mix up with the jab block already kept. It's just stealing the game away. Sonic's actually looking a little bit lost here.
A little confused, of course. I mean, when you think about these two characters, they both control the pacing of the match for two very, very different reasons. But again, it goes back to what we kind of talked about at the end of that last game. There is those moments where, okay, I'm done playing the long game. You're at a good enough percent. I'm comfortable enough to get up close and personal and throw my weight around a little bit. And I think that's throwing Sonix off ever so slightly. Sonix, of course, backing off a little bit and putting a stop to all that madness. He said, look, I control the traffic right here. You can go as fast as you want. Enjoy the stop sign, my friend. Here's your ticket.
Go fast. I said, stop.
Stop, baby.
And now, what do you do if you are Sonix? Because he's getting red on all of his defensive options. He has normally been so good at adjusting heavily to it, but everything that Kep does is basically a bait to force a bad habit to get another punch. Also, that move, surprisingly, is pretty annoying on shield, and you want to grab it. But Kep is not getting grab punish for it.
That's right. Isabelle said, keep your hands to yourself, okay? Hands off the schmuck. All right, I paid a lot of good money for these nice clothes. Great stuff right here. Love that. Got to keep those landing options on lock. That's another avenue of Sonic's gameplay that I sometimes forget about, is that when he's going up against opponents, especially characters that really struggle to land, Sonix becomes your absolute worst nightmare. But the same can definitely be said for Kep as well. Being able to, of course, use those projectiles to control the landing from the other side of the room, but most notably, the footwork into the up air. We haven't seen the turnips really come into play yet, but when them turnips start turn-upping, I mean, it gets bad.
And also something I noticed as well, Rod, we alluded to it back in game number 2 when the fishing rod was able to avoid. He does get it there. He committed fully to the homing attack, so it takes a little bit away what I was going to say.
Sure.
But one of Sonic's main win conditions is his ability to edge guard you extremely early. He does it to everyone. But switching away from Villager to this to the tether recovery here with Isabelle has actually allowed him to mix up a lot, and that's taken away a huge win condition that Sonix had when he was playing that Villager.
No doubt about it, and it feels like Sonix just has to dig a little deeper here, which isn't a bad thing at all. I think sometimes people see a character like Sonic and they think, oh, he's just pressing the B button, which, you know, in all fairness, a Sonic of any caliber is wearing that B button now. But this is a different type of Sonic right here, obviously having to keep a game plan on lock, but then, of course, tapping into that adaptation and then being able to switch up the flow every so often, as you can see here. Yes, I've lost the stock. That's okay. I'm still holding forward and staying in your, not in your comfort zone, but in the zone that makes you most uncomfortable to try to find that W.
Yeah, man, I like what he tried to do before. He wanted to condition Kep because he's constantly gone for nair on neutral getup, and he tried to read a rollout with that down smash. But Kep has just consistently revealed to Sonix. Every single one of these spin dashes means that, oh, wait, he just got a reversal with an air. Oh, he's going to have to air dash back on. He reads the rollout with the up smash. Kep currently cruising with a 2-stock to 1 lead, and he's going to go hover over near that. Yeah, that's it. He's going to stay right there. Go punish me. Try. It ain't going to work.
It ain't going to work this time, but good Lord. I mean, when we talk about the set play, it's as ever so dangerous as it is with this Isabelle. I mean, again, you just cannot rip and run across this stage for free, man. I feel like I'm at my parents' place. You better stop ripping and running in this house, all right, or I'm putting your ass on punishment. And it just really feels like Kep is kind of leaning into those tactics. He said, look, you got great footwork, you got the mobility, but now you got to jump over this one trap. If you get caught in it, I got up air for you. If you decide to go over it, I got forward air, I got back air. And as you can see, man, Kep has done a phenomenal job at landing those. But back air, or back throw, excuse me, equalizing the stocks percent's telling a little bit different of a story.
Finally gets that back throw, but you're kind of hovering around in a bunch. He's definitely ripping and tearing through this lead right now. He has him at 159, straight hit territory. I have seen Sonix come back from worse positions, though.
That's
so
true.
If you're a fan of trying to see Sonix continue to hold down the defense for everybody here in the Caribbean, the last representative of DR to try and defend Puerto Rico, even though it's not the same spot, he wants this dub. He can get an early edge guard. That possibility has now ended here in game number 3 because he ran right on top of the Lloyd.
I gotta be honest, Sonix is just dying in the most cartoon type of ways I've ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen that move KO. I mean, I know it can, but in all my years of casting Ultimate, I'm like, wow, that was a thing. Oh, I love that. Using homing attack off stage, such a strong option versus characters with no hitboxes on their recovery. There is that back throw that we've seen just a moment ago. But this here, look, somebody come look at this in my Kevin Hart voice. Somebody come look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this.
Look at this.
Look at this.
All right, I'm going to make a very unnecessary reference between these two here.
I'm listening.
Sonix, right? Sonic, one of his greatest weaknesses is trying to avoid Amy Rose. You take the mallet from Isabelle? All right, I'm just playing.
You know, you might be on to
something. I might be on to something. Hey, it's working. It's working. Isabelle might be distracting him. That's not Amy, man. But we got 2 games up to 1 for Kep. Kep switching off that villager, making such a difference. Now, granted, he just answered right back with 67%, and he forced the air dodge. That's a free punish on his way back up because he's got to up B.
Nah, I got to up B, and that homing attack is coming through in a big way. Nice. There's the spring. Going to go as deep as possible and gets it done. 0 to death, my friends. There was no neutral reset. Sonix just stayed strong and closed it out right there on that first stock, and just kind of giving us a rinse and repeat of what we've seen on that first stock as well. The corner control, get that up tilt the entire hell out of here.
It's so ridiculous. At first I thought he was going to forward air off stage 2 to try and force a stage check, but going for the side B, he hasn't done that pretty much at all. He usually used the side B, and now he's getting these nairs on stage, and the adaptation skills from Sonix so good. But he needs to keep this lead. He's plays so strong with a lead rod. He cannot let Kep start to creep his way back in like he's done in the previous game.
Kep will start creeping, and it ain't going to be good for Sonix. But I got to say this, though. This is a very good spot for Sonix to be in, not only just because I want the lead and I want to hold on to it. Sonic is a character that's built to hold on to leads, but also versus a character like Isabelle and Villager, now they have to get their hands dirty. Now they got to chase you down. And they ain't the fastest character on foot. You know, when you start when the shoe is on the other foot and you're not in control of that pacing anymore, it just becomes an uphill battle, and Sonix is proving exactly why here. Kep, nice, has to tether, not allowing him to go for homing attack anymore, and just kind of throwing that explosion back in his face.
And now he's getting up there with those dash cancel down tilts or F tilts to break that Lloyd before it gets started. And now he's essentially scared Kep because the biggest thing that you were just pointing out is that Isabelle thrives when you have to approach.
Facts.
Now Sonix can approach with the whole 2-stock lead, so he can afford to take trades. You can't afford to take these trades from this point forward.
No, you cannot. Everything needs to be pure finesse, pure resilience here at this point. But I don't want to say the ship is sailed, but it ain't looking good right here for this dog, all right?
I'm not one to count out Kep just yet, as he completely didn't get hit on that last stock. So if he has another similar stock like he did in those previous games where he basically, never mind, he took 39 immediately, I'm going to shut up. And he is already continuing that advantage that he had.
Sonix is just playing like the DLC character Sonix should be playing as, but he's base roster. I mean, just making every hit count. It just feels like every time he gets a opening, a confirm, even when things aren't true, he either just baits an air dodge, he just waits out a couple more frames, and he finds that opening, and he just resets it. Love dash attack. That's another avenue of Isabelle that completely spaced on, man. I'm getting Isabelle PTSD, man. Shout out to Max Ketchum, but that thing catches tech options like no other. You got to watch how you get up versus her. That thing hits you in low percents. We're going to get a rinse and repeat of that damage.
I will say I'm incredibly impressed by the tempo shift that Kep has been able to do up until that back air, because he was walking back and forth, forcing, well, he only got one balloon pop, but now he's got to land for, he had the air dodge down. He didn't get the grab. Sonix starting to miss some of these punish opportunities here, Rod, and that's only going to allow Kep that many more chances to get these anti-airs that have been leading to him crawling his way back into this game.
That's right. Now Kep is trying his damnedest to stay in control of the pacing, and wait a minute, let's it sing. Empties the clip right there on Sonix. And this actually might be doable. Like, I mean, you did say we can't count him out just yet. He's doing really well.
That was Doomslayer shotgun, bro. Ain't no way. That he just took him out at like 90. So strong, but 145 to 18. Bit of a hill to climb. Not an impossible hill to climb, but you can't take a forwarder off stage. You can't take another back air from Sonix. But what you can do is start to rack up this damage slowly. He took neutral air away. He was forced to jump. But that was actually the minimal amount of punish he could have taken.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was very, very smart. He understood the danger of just being hit with any more Lloyd rockets. We have seen just how well Kep converts off of those every time, either going for like Nair off of the ride up or upper, which is something Sonix definitely does not want to do. It gets the okay.
That was an amazing tech, by the way, from Kep, because normally that lines up into that back air. That side B off stage is utilized tool by Sonix later on in the game, but we're at that mark where we're getting close to that move right there. Getting close to getting a knockout. Up throw, still not enough yet.
Okay, he's going off stage. Slingshot right there, nice. Forgot that he has to tether. I ain't Villager. I can make it for some crazy distances away, but I'm coming through with the big shoe, pushing it to game number 5. And yes, let's take a peek at these replays. There's a lot to look at in that last match.
Oh yeah, the air dodge coming down. They're forcing that 3-1 situation, but after getting caught right there with that side B, that forward smash got him sub 100. Look at this. It was 78 before the hit. 99.9% effectiveness right there if you want to get rid of Hedgehogs. And he was so close to getting rid of the last minute. Once his jump was gone, he saw him jump off stage, Rod. He already knew.
Now, I tell you what, man, if I'm Kep, even though I lost that match, I'm going into game 5 with a lot of confidence because I still made this young man sweat despite him being up a whole 3 stocks to my 1. I brought it down to the nitty-gritty. Let's see what we get here for game 5. No more Villager. It's the Isabelle that's getting it done here, friends. Everything that you thought you knew about the tier list and the meta, throw it the hell out the window because Kep is here to prove you wrong, all right? Let's get but the same song and dance from the beginning of that last game, an immediate 50-something%, not even 10 seconds into the game.
Round start, immediately getting damage. Now, one thing that did help Kep earlier when he was on small battlefield is the distance that he had to do to cover Sonix's burst range was cut by a lot because PS2 was so much larger. But here, he doesn't have to worry about that. He had all of those tech chases on the platforms. He misses out on the jab block there, but look how quickly he's starting to answer back, even though Sonix has a pretty solid lead.
That's right. Now, Sonix, of course, very great at opening up the show, but the issue is that when we disengage and we start to play the slow game, that's when you start to give Kep, a player of his caliber, time to think. And I'm going to be honest, I don't want to give Kep any sort of time to think. I got to stay in his face because the more time he gets, I mean, he's in Batman mode. He's like, I got the contingencies on deck. But wait a minute, I don't think he had one for back air right there. Sonix with the lead.
And fairness to Sonix too, don't give him enough time to start figuring things out because he has been so good at adapting. That game 4 made everything else look like it was not an issue at all. He just misses that back air. That is Isabelle, so she's gonna make that back. That 10 comes through, you take a small punish though. That's fine. You don't lose your stock in the midst of it.
That's right. Now he has the lead here. Kep has to play the long game. Now he has to tap into some of that game 4 energy where, yes, I'm in the deficit, but I still have to kind of hold forward a little bit. I can't be super aggressive like what I've seen in game 3, I believe, where, you know, I was able to box a little bit better up close because I had the lead, but I still got to figure out a way to gain a little bit of footing in the neutral. I got to lean into slingshots a bit more and force him to come to me.
Normally in these situations, I wouldn't be like against saying somebody should start to, like, you have a lot of time. You can slow it down. You have 5 minutes on the clock. The problem is the opposing player is Sonix. He is completely content with also playing that clock with you. So you can't play, you want to play passive, you got to be careful. But that, leading to the jabs, getting him enough hit stun to get that down smash, he just avoids the fishing rod to keep himself still going, and he might get a 3 stock up to 1 lead pretty soon.
That's right, and he's trying to close off access to the left part of the stage right there. I mean, we have seen how dangerous Sonix is in the corner, whether it be ledge trapping, whether it be punishing poor options back to the ledge. Nobody does it as well as Sonix. Nice, lands the hammer, down smash, tries to sweep him out. Still not enough to do, but message is definitely sent, gone fishing, sends that ass sky high.
Gets him on another one right there. And you can see some of Sonix's multi-game conditioning start to kick in there where he's starting to get some of these roll baits. He's starting to get Kep to run in sooner. Yeah, right there. He did avoid the grab, but he wasn't able to walk away. I got a little scared with that roll, but kept in this same spot last game, brought it all the way back. Sonix he has to continue to make this the second stock lead work here.
Oh, wow, baits the air dodge out, too. Yes, he has to be able to not only just that, but just to not get comfortable. Now, obviously, these two are professionals. I don't expect them to get comfortable, but sometimes it does happen to the best of us. You know, I got that lead. I'm feeling good right now. I got him in like a positional spot where I can force him into the corner and really bait out a poor option. I don't even really have to force myself, but the fact remains the same. He's holding forward, and it's just looking damn good for him right there. Holds the spring. Wait a minute, gets sent high with the Lloyd Rocket.
One of the things that's very scary right now, Rod. I mean, he's now definitely at those kill percents, but he had him in a similar spot that he had last time where that forward smash connected. Now, does he go for the roll-on coverage? No, he comes up with a homing attack. That's such a big mix-up what he's been doing from before. And now Sonix gets the throw, gets position. All he needs is one forward air, one back air off stage. Side B gets the tech, gets the bump, it gets the ledge jump, but nothing comes of it.
And then base to air, or spot dodge out, excuse me, doesn't go for anything. Up tilt right there for a good anti-air option just in case he tries to jump over him and go for back throw. No throw needed. Forward air is going to get it done. Fist bumps all across the board. Sonix is in grands.
Sonix holding on to that #1 seed position still over here in the Caribbean, trying to keep the championship within this range, but also continue to prove how much stronger of a player he has gotten over time. Wi-Fi error be damned. Everybody talk about it all you want, but like a big part of it, we saw the rise of Spargo. We saw how well he did, and we've seen how much more improved Sonix has become. And yes, that playstyle is frustrating to fight against.
Yeah.
This character is frustrating to fight against.
That's fact.
But you play to win. You play to your win condition, and you have to be able to deal with people who adapted to it. Because he got adapted on pretty hard.
It was
like
pretty
kept
tough.
in game 2.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that, man. It was very, very apparent. I mean, he said, look, you can adapt all you want, but I got a tool, I got an ace up my sleeve, and that Isabelle came to do some damage. Now, friends, if you just watch that match, you still don't think Isabelle's a viable character, I don't know what the hell to tell you, man. Don't watch your boy at that local that goes 0-2. That's not a good representation of Isabelle. This is Kep we're talking about. He flew all the way over here to do some damage. Now, of course, dropping down to the loser's bracket, has to play a few more matches.